The dash cam clearly demonstrates that there was not a moment of hesitation. Stockley exited the squad car. Stockley literally sprinted over to the driver's side of Smith's vehicle, opened the door, leaned in. You can't see exactly what he is doing, but one imagines that one is compelled to lift the airbag off of Mr. Smith, who at this point is groaning. And who knows that? OnStar does, because they have the tape recording going. More importantly, Mr. Smith was on the phone the entire chase with his fiancée, who heard everything. Mr. Stockley unloaded 5 rounds of ammunition from his department-issued handgun, which was held in his gloved hand, into the body and torso of Mr. Smith. Remember, a police officer is trained. If you're going to use a weapon, you are using it to fully abate the threat. That means you shoot to kill. Otherwise, there is no need for a handgun. Anything short of being placed in fear of grave and imminent harm, you don't use that handgun. You use that handgun to fully abate that threat. Stockley went back to his squad car, and you see in the in-dash cam the video footage of him purposely placing his back toward the camera and shielding that which he is trying to remove from his duffel bag. Stockley, unaware that a second video was being taken from the second floor of the building overlooking the scene, explained that he had gone back to the squad car for the purposes of getting a clot pack. A clot pack designed to assist, like in the battlefield, the cessation of bleeding on the part of somebody who's been shot. He shot Mr. Smith at point-blank range. He didn't shoot Mr. Smith and leave him there thinking that he was still alive. He wasn't going back to get a blood-clotting device, and if he was, he had a duty and an obligation under policy procedures to make sure that he secured that weapon before he did anything else so that he wouldn't put himself and others in harm's way. Remember, while Stockley's in the bag, with his back toward the video, reaching in the bag, he doesn't know that the second video is there. And more importantly, that second video shows why the dash cam video stopped. The dash cam video stopped as soon as Stockley left the back of the car to rummage through his baggage, because his partner reached in and turned off the video, also contrary to policy and procedure. So then all of a sudden we're made aware of the fact that a gun is found. And if you read the judge's opinion, the judge made a point of saying, well, an urban heroin dealer without a gun would be an anomaly. Those were the words that he used. What does urban mean, Your Honor? Well, urban means black. It's not complicated. So because Stockley believed this black was a heroin dealer, it was okay to shoot him. So we're left with an opinion which is appallingly, glaringly devoid of respect for the evidence, the unimpeachable evidence, to the point that the judge even tries to explain away the fact that they have on video a police officer in the minute preceding the shooting of a victim saying, "We're going to kill this motherfucker, don't you know?" And the judge explained that away by saying, well, you know, in effect, if not verbatim, people in stressful situations say things that are just designed in the heat of the moment to relieve stress. Very good. So the judge says you've got to look at the subsequent actions to gauge what was meant by what was said during that stressful situation. So if you look at the subsequent action is, quite interestingly, Stockley shot and killed Smith. We're not talking about a day later. We're not talking about a few hours later. We're talking about maybe not quite a minute later. Okay? So let's look at that subsequent action. The judge does it. So now, from the outside looking in, if you're a black man in America, you point to this as being the quintessential example of a cluster that exemplifies perfectly the absence of justice for all. If you're a white man in America, if you're a yellow man in America, you better watch out, because this is the type of case that renders compromised our justice system for all of us.